Okay, this is part 2 of our Convertkit familiarization video series. I'm Alexa Bigworth with Write, Publish, Sell, and I'm sharing some tidbits, insights, and basically an overview for someone who is new to Convertkit. Also, there are lots of tutorials and videos out there. So if you get to a new section of it and you want to know how to do something, it will offer you the opportunity to watch a tutorial video, or you can go over to the help section or to their blog and find out information. Now, we just talked about setting up a form. I'm going to hop over to the next one, which is a sequence. Now, if you are having people opt into a form, you want to give them an email sequence to get to know you better, to build that know, like, and trust factor, and to eventually convert them to a customer or client. So if you've given them your best opt-in, the next thing you want to do, you can click on create a new sequence up here, but I like this one because it gives you a sample of how to build a sequence, and it just walks you through what's happening in each one. They used to have a few more set. Oh, they sure do. You just keep adding and it will tell you what to put in the next one. So they've changed some things around, but this is great. So it gives you an idea of what you should have in your first email. So, and what needs to happen for it to actually send out. So first you're going to want to give it a good email subject. So if they've opted in for a PDF download of something, you want to make sure you say, attached is your, 5 healthy habits for the week, or open to download your 5 grocery items for living a healthier life, or whatever, so that they know that that is their opt-in to get it. So what I like to do and the first one is to give information about what they've just received from you. So give them a reminder of why they're getting the email, a reminder of who you are. Here's the link to your download, because if that were directed to a download, you know how it is when you opt in on your phone, or even when you're busy and then you close out the browser window and you're like, great, I have no idea where I'm going to get it. So you want to make sure that you reattach the item, and you can do that really easily by just saying, type in, download your PDF here, or send them to a link on your website, or to a Dropbox link, or wherever you want to. But if you're going to upload it, you're just going to insert a file right here and choose the file off of your computer, and it will actually embed it into the email so that they can download it directly from the email. And Convertkit houses all of that stuff for you. So once you've finished writing your first email, you're going to do 2 things. Now, on the first one, I like to send it immediately. So you notice there's no option for that. So you just click that to 0 days and it will go immediately. Then in future ones, you can change it to 1 day, 1 hour. If you've got something happening that's kind of a timely thing, like if you've got a sale that's going on and your sequence might be very, very time sensitive over the course, like Black Friday or Cyber Monday, where if they opt in for something, the first email goes out immediately, the second one after an hour, the second one after 3 hours, however you want it to do. And then you have to change this to published, and you have to hit save all. So then the next email after 1 day or 1 week, normally I recommend doing a sequence that goes out over 3 to 5 emails over a couple of weeks, so that you don't bombard them, but you stay enough in their purview that they don't forget who you are, and that you stay on their thing. And it just, every time you add one, it just says add more engaging content. So the basic rule of thumb is to send out your initial email that just says, here's what you requested from me, here's where you can download it, and maybe a quick call to action, like, to join up with other parents who feel the same way about this topic as you do. Join my Parenting Resources Facebook group and link to that. Then the next email, I like to give a little bit more information on who I am or who the author is, why they wrote the book, a little bit of more information into them as a person and what they can offer, some more useful information. Then the third email, you can do kind of a soft sell or another freebie that you have, or maybe invite them if you do free calls, or if you have another book that you're giving away for free, or you're giving a couple chapters. You can say, have you had a chance to read this first one yet? What do you think about it? If you're interested in more content like that, you can go to my blog and read my 5 favorite blog posts that are related to this topic and put those in there. Give them other value, give them other information that they can continue to connect with you and continue to grow. And then after a few emails of valuable information and soft sells, then you start hitting them with the actual sales. If you liked this preview, you'll love the whole book. Hop on over to Amazon right now and purchase it. Just be sure you don't use affiliate links in email. It's against Amazon's terms of service. So, hop on over to Amazon and buy the whole book. Or maybe you would like the Spanish version of my book. I have this book available in Spanish. If you know a teacher or a friend or a loved one who would like this book in Spanish, click the link. Or if it's that you want to get them onto a coaching call, you might say, if you're interested in more information on this topic, or if you want to talk more about it, or if you have questions you need answered, I offer a 30-minute consulting call for, $175,000, whatever, because that's what we all want to be making an hour, right? And offer them the link, or maybe you have a coupon code for a discount if it's a real cold audience that you're going into and you're not sure if they're just going to plunk $50 or $150 down your way or whatever. You might offer them a discounted price, or, say as a special gift to my newsletter subscribers, I give an opportunity for a free 15-minute call, or a 25% off my normal price, or here's the coupon code, whatever. You get the point. But you want to build out this email sequence that is automated, that knows to go out day after day, that provides them more information about you, your books, your services, who you are as a person, how they can connect with you, and help them grow to know and like you more and want to be part of your community. And even if the only thing they ever do through this email sequence is join your Facebook group, you never know when that person may convert into a raving fan and buy all your books, or join your courses, or purchase your coaching program or whatnot later on down the road. So a good email sequence, some people call them a nurture sequence, because you're nurturing them from a cold lead to a client or raving fan. It's really an important part of the process. So once you've set up your sequence, yes, I know it can't be saved. I'm moving on anyway. Then you can talk about how you're sending them. And remember, we talked about if you saw the first video, we talked about different tags, and exclusions, segments, and all those kinds of things. So if you have a group that, like if this sequence is almost identical to the sequence they would have gotten from another one of your lead magnets, you can say exclude anyone who is subscribed to this form, and it'll let you choose the form, or this sequence. You don't want them on this sequence, or this tag. So for example, if you have uploaded a bunch of emails from a conference that you attended or something, and you're nervous that you might have people who did not give consent, or whatever your tags are, you can choose to exclude people from this particular sequence. For me, I offer multiple opt-ins, and they have a very similar sequence. So in most cases, I will exclude people who are on other opt-ins, so that they don't get sent the same emails over and over and get annoyed by me. You can look at reports. You can see how many people are confirmed subscribers, how many subscribers overall, who's unsubscribed, how they open, how they click, all of those types of things. Now, there used to be an option where when you, let's see here, it's kind of backwards here because, let's see if it's under the form. I clicked on the minimal form. There used to be an option where you can add them to a sequence, but I don't see that option anymore. So, this is where the automations that I talked about in the first video come into hand, because then you're going to go back here, and this is why you want to make sure you've at least started your sequence like as soon as you set up your form, because if you miss this step and people start opting into your form, you'll have to go back and add them manually. You didn't used to have to do that. You used to be able to create a sequence and you could add people who had opted into a form, and you could ask it to go ahead and add people who were already subscribed to the form, but I have not been able to find that option anymore. But this is where you're able to create a rule that says when someone subscribes to my form, and this is why you want to make sure that you have named your form so you know what the heck you're talking about here. Then I want to add them to my sequence. And that's a great way. Then once you have all of that set up, then you can embed your form and start getting people to join in. And I will get to, in the third video, connecting it to your website. But really quickly here, I want to talk about the last element, which is a broadcast. A broadcast is just an email. So you set up a new broadcast and you get to choose the email that it comes from. If you have multiple businesses, or if you're sending emails on behalf of a client who you have pulled their emails in for whatever reason, there's a whole lot of reasons why you can add a new address and you just put it in here and then you have to confirm it. So when you go in, say you have a couple different businesses that you run, like I do. So I have my info at Write, Publish, Sell, my info at Lose the Cape, my info at Cat Biggie Press, these different things. I can drop down and I can choose which email it's coming from. Then you can send it to everybody, or you can say only the ones who are subscribed to this particular form get this email, or maybe that you want them to be subscribed to this form and a different form, or maybe you want to, you can mess around with however you want it to. You can have distance from a city within a country. So like if you have an email that only applies to people, say you're running an event in Columbia, South Carolina, you can have it with only the people who are within, 100 miles of, and put in the city name, New York. And if you have that information here, let's see, I guess some people have added the information. Some people don't have that information, so that'd be kind of silly. But you can add all kinds of filter groups so that you can make sure you can change it from matching any of the following to none. So if you don't, different ways to exclude it. So you can just mess around with that. But that's another reason why it's really important to have people sign up through a form or have tags or things like that, because you can, if they're subscribed to a segment, like every time somebody comes in and gets a parenting opt-in lead magnet, I add them to my parenting segment. Then every time I can just send it to my parenting segment. So anyway, you mess around with that until you have it set up, and then you click on next step, and it's just, all subscribers. Then once you get here, it's just a matter of typing your email subject. You can do some things like testing A and B, doing all kinds of fancy stuff, but I usually just do a regular old email. You type in your email message. It's got, ways for you to link things and attach things and do pictures and all of those things. And then you can either you can preview it, or you can go to next step, and you can either send it immediately, or you can schedule it to go out whenever you want it to go. So it's just like any other type of email program at this point, except for you have some pretty cool options for excluding people on your list. You also want to make sure that you're, if you want to use you can set up through all the other stuff back in here, the fancy schmancy stuff, you can set up a signature and make it a little bit fancier if you want